My name's Tom Talpett. I farm in the southeast of Cornwall. We farmed organically for about 25 years, about 400 acres, on a range of medium to light soils with permanent pastures, temporary pastures, and we grow by-crops of peas and barley and wheat and beans. 3 years ago, I formed a business called TerraFarmer. TerraFarmer was inspired by a trip to America where I met a man called Gary Zimmer who introduced the concept of biological farming to me, and he helped me understand that within the soil there's a huge biological community, and if you look after that biological community you grow crops with higher resilience, better yields and increased organic matter. Help farmers understand soil, to analyse soil, and over time we started to develop processes where we were putting GPS tags on soil samples so that we could build nutrient maps, and through those maps and things understand limiting factors, and so farmers have a baseline to build their knowledge and their business from.
I'm Sam Collins and I'm the General Manager at TerraFarmer. We help farmers build soil health and farm more responsibly. What we're doing is backed by science. So we've got a number of soil buggies that go out and do soil testing with Wintex machinery on farms across the UK, and those samples go to laboratories. The analysis is returned and then we convert those into nutrient, carbon and a whole variety of analysis maps which enable farmers and growers to farm more precisely, more responsibly and ultimately more profitably. I think the more people that realise that potentially going back to some of those more old school practices can actually increase yields and increase profitability and lower your dependence on expensive inputs.
Through biological farming and through the way we farm, our business has evolved from a sort of a standard rotational organic system to trying to build a biologically more active system. You analyse soil and you balance it, your macronutrients, your P, your K, but more and more we're looking at balancing sulphur and calcium and trace elements. The premise being, if your soil hasn't got enough of an essential element, you can't expect the plant to thrive, to be resilient, to maximise its yield. So within the southwest we're seeing a lot of soils that are lacking in sulphur and molybdenum. Now these are two elements which are crucial in nitrogen fixation. Sea2Soil appealed to me very much because it's a product made from waste, so we're reducing the carbon footprint and certainly reducing waste. Historically in Cornwall, waste fish has been used as a fertiliser for millennia. I could see it from a nutritional perspective, having a product which was based on amino acids and fats and things which came from the fish parent material, being a really important part of the nutrient cycle within what we're looking to achieve. Building this sort of idea of this total ration for the soil, that the Sea2Soil project really fits in with the vision that we're trying to create a really balanced diet for the soil and the soil microbes. We're looking at Sea2Soil as part of our sort of experimental rounds this year. We're using Sea2Soil on winter beans and wheat. We're using it on spring peas and barley. We're trialling it on temporary lays and permanent pastures. We're looking to do many things within that. We're looking to increase yield and resilience within the crop. We're looking to increase the crude protein. As an organic farmer, we find that our growth rates in our second year animals, if they're on permanent pasture, are often lower than what we would like them to be, and quite often it's a lack of protein. And so one of the objectives that we're trying to do is increase the protein within the growing plant, within the cycles, so that we are getting better utilisation and better efficacy from grazing permanent pastures and temporary pastures. And indeed, we hope to be able to show that by using a well-balanced nutrition programme, we can increase the protein within the legumes on the farm. When we're looking at trialling and working with a product, the way that we approach something is probably looking over a much longer term. That the joy of regenerative farming and biological organic farming, whatever the moniker you're using, is the fact that it takes your eyes off the horizon being the next year, and you often start thinking in much longer cycles, typically 5-year cycles within a rotation. If the product works as we believe it will, then it will be part of a nutrition program for a number of years, because every time we plough or disrupt the soil, or certainly for every second year of an arable rotation, Sea2Soil will be part of the amendments that we use within that, because we're we're looking to maintain and build that biological community, and Sea2Soil is part of what I'm using to do that. Some of the key indicators that we're looking to see within the utilisation of Sea2Soil as part of a nutrition pack is we would like to see differences in colour. We would like to analyse increases in protein, in dry matter yield, in nutrient content. When a plant is healthier, the Brix levels tend to rise. If the Brix levels tend to rise, you have much less chance of sort of insect attack and things. So it comes back to this premise of being part of a complete package where the benefits are not just immediate, but can be medium and long term. And protein are some of the short term things that I'm looking for. With the medium would be healthier crops and higher yields. And we'll utilise Sea2Soil in two programs. One we'll be looking at as a soil drench, where we're applying it to the soil with some molasses and some trace elements to make sure that after a heavy tillage event that we're feeding the bacteria. With the molasses, we're feeding the biology and possibly the fungal networks by using composted manures and using Sea2Soil. But also we are applying it as a foliar as well. And the plan is that within the trial sites that we'll put 3 applications on. We can't cut or graze it for 3 weeks after we apply, so it does take some management decision, but we will be applying it over the summer in the same areas because we're looking to build in the nutrient density and the yield of those plants within those trial areas. Part of what we're looking to achieve with TerraFarmer working and trialling Sea2Soil is a sort of a future where we rely much less on synthetic and synthesized crop nutrients and crop inputs. We're becoming more and more aware that replicating nature and using naturally based fertilizers, growth promoters, stimulants can be much more healthy for the plant and in the environment. We've seen that well-managed herbal lays and rotational inputs within a farm can make a huge difference in biodiversity. We can really improve not only the health of the soil, but the operator's bottom line by replicating natural cycles and using natural ingredients. I genuinely believe that we can build the organic matter and the carbon within the soil. And that's part of the attraction of working to Sea2Soil, and it's part of the drive of TerraFarmer is as you build the biology of the soil, the locked up nutrients, the phosphorus and potassium becomes more available because of the increased biological cycles. And I genuinely can't see a downside to this. You improve the sort of sustainability, the financial efficacy and the long-term gain. You know, it is a triple win. And I think this is what is achievable by sort of better farming and utilising this sort of knowledge which is increasing every year. It's an incredibly exciting time to be part of agriculture. To think that we can sort of leave our soils in better health for the next generation is one of the primary objectives of most farming businesses. And I think this move to more sustainable farming helps farmers plan and farm for the longer term and will give them better outcomes in the shorter term.